Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope that you'll like the video and you will subscribe and share it with your friends. In this video, I'm going to share my preparation of getting my garden ready for very cold temperatures. You start now. You don't wait until it's right upon you. So actually, this is going to be part one. And then in my next video, I'm going to show you the other things that you can do. I'm also in this video going to share with you a leafy green that you can grow in 15 to 20 degree weather. And if you get a lot of snow in your area, you can grow it in even colder weather because the snow will actually insulate the plant and allow it to continue to grow. Now, it won't grow as fast as it would if it was in a warmer temperature, but you still can grow it in the wintertime. I'm also going to share with you how I went to, where did we go? Lowe's today, and I ran into one of my subscribers. Last week I ran into one of my subscribers. It's a beautiful thing to be recognized. And I don't really do it for recognition, but I'm human. And when the lady walked up and she said, "Hey, I know you. I watch you on TV." Well, you'll hear about that. Okay, I'm also going to share with you some of the other seeds that I recently planted and how I transplanted some of my seedlings. Anyway, I'm just going to give you an update. I hope this is not too long. I did a lot in this video. I'm also going to share how I try to get rid of a lot of non-beneficial insects before I put my frost protection on, because it won't do you any good if they're already in your soil, meaning that the eggs, the larvae, or the actual insects themselves are in the soil, and then you cover it up with a frost cloth, baby. All you're doing is creating eating ground for them to keep on doing what they do, and that is destroy your crops. Okay, let's get started. It's Saturday, October the 12th. This is my butternut squash. It's doing pretty good. Where you see the yellowing, that's where the sun is hitting it. And I want you to know that Saturday and Sunday, we're supposed to get temperatures up to 98 and 99 degrees. So I think it'll be a good time for me to go ahead and mulch this. And one pansy in here. And the reason why I'm going to put the pansy in this container to attract pollinators that will need to cross-pollinate the male and the female flowers that are going to start appearing. Now, if I don't see any pollinators, it's not a big issue because I can always pollinate it by hand. But I just like for you to know that I'm going to do my best to attract pollinators, because there are a lot of butterflies and bees still out in Garden Zone 88, Mesquite, Texas, because it is still very hot. Right here you can see I dug a hole, and I'm going to put the pansy right here in the hole. It only cost me $1.98 from Home Depot. And let me tell you a little bit about pansies after I get this plant in here. It has a real vigorous root system. After I took out the package, I'm just gonna place it down in the hole, and then I'm gonna smooth the soil around it and just press down so I don't get air pockets in here, which will cause root rot when I water it. Okay, so that looks really good. Now, a few things about the pansies. It's an annual, meaning that after it freezes, it won't come back. It can survive temperatures as low as 20 to 25 degrees. However, it will be very stressed. The ideal growing conditions are temperatures between 50 and 70 degrees, and it should be in a sunny location. I like to put some pansies in my garden every year because even if it snows, waiting for that automobile to pass, even if it snows and you know the plant is covered, the snow will act as an insulator and keep it warmer than it would if it would just freeze without any condensation, any rain or any snow. So it's a wonderful feeling to come out to your garden when temperatures are around 30, 40 degrees and you still see some beautiful pops of color. I'm mulching with to keep the soil moist all around the base of the plant and any exposed soil. watered before I even transplanted the pansy. I also put the mulch down, and I can't hardly read this, but I could see that it was 9:10. I'm gonna go back and look at my journal. I'll put the exact date in here. I was able to find a picture of the exact date that I started the seeds, and it was the 9th month and the 10th day. And since we are not expecting a freeze until around the middle of December, I'm praying for a good harvest of butternut squash because it's my favorite squash. Here, it's getting ready to bud out. If you're new to gardening, the reason why I have the tomato cages in here, because I'm gonna try to grow some of them and tie them up on the tomato cage. One more thing, I'm gonna lightly water this with a fine mist to make sure I remove any mulch or any soil on the plant to prevent fungus. This is my echinacea. It looks like it's dead, but it's not. Got probably too hot. And what I do is I remove the seed pods. Let me see if I can cut one off with my left hand. And then I just take that seed pod and put it in the soil. And right here, I'm gonna pop in some pictures of the echinacea that I grow from year to year, and let you see how beautiful the flowers are. Echinacea. Common name for it is cone flowers. Here's my other container of echinacea. And also I meant to mention in that other pot I showed you, it had some vinca flowers. I only paid $1 for them, and they come back year after year. Here's some that are up there. Let me see if I can go closer. I planted those 3 years ago. I moved them from my food forest. So when I deadhead these flowers, I'm just gonna put them down in the soil a little bit, and then I will put the mulch on top of it, just like I did in the other container. One more thing about these cone flowers is I intentionally put this in a 25-gallon container because I know how deep those roots will go down into this container. I could always add more soil during the spring of the year, but you're gonna see they're gonna come back real vigorously, and we're gonna have 3 times the amount of flowers. I only put 1 plant in here. This container is very pretty. I planted these basil seeds in 107-degree weather along with the dwarf tomatoes, and they kind of like were stunted, but now they're beginning to take off, and you can see that this one is flowering, and we'll have little cherry tomatoes over here very soon. This is the chair over here that I used to sit and pray in my garden, but I just stand now because the vines just started wrapping around the chair, so I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Hey everybody, this is, you don't know your name?
I'm Brian.
This is Brian, and he's helping me today put the diatomaceous earth down there. This is food grade diatomaceous earth, guys. You can even put it into your, if you have a homestead where you got chickens or hogs or goats or whatever, you can put some in their feed and it'll kill the insects inside of them. I'm gonna put it on, I'm gonna show you where we're gonna pick it. Pick it up, Brian. We're gonna put some, you guys, you see something that's been eating my mustard green leaves? See right here? And then over here. Okay, you can see the sun is not all the way up yet. You do this real early in the morning when you put that diatomaceous earth out. See there? And then when I come back out to water, when the sun comes up, I will rinse it off because it's not active when it's wet, at least this particular type. Sun's coming up a little bit over here. So I'll be back here in about an hour before the bees start coming out. All the way over in that corner, you can see, we didn't bother with the green stalks. And he put some on the sweet potatoes, but there's not any leaf damage on the sweet potatoes. Some gardeners think that the diatomaceous earth won't harm bees, but I think it does. So I try not to put it out, you know, when they're out. Another thing I want to tell you about this diatomaceous earth, it's not my #1 go-to product to kill insects, but because it's so hot, I don't want to use anything with oil in it, because usually I'll use neem oil and water, and maybe just a touch of vegetable soap, and sometimes maybe a little Dawn. But for right now, because it's still too hot, I don't want my leaves to fry if they come in contact with the neem oil. In this hanging basket, we're going to hang it in an area where it gets partial shade, because we put butter crunch lettuce there, and we know that lettuce doesn't have to be in full sun. Guys, it is October 14th, and I'm going to start in my hydroponic systems some giant winter spinach. The reason why I'm not sowing it outside is because the ideal growing conditions are between 40 and 60 degrees. So I'm going to grow it hydroponically until the weather gets a little cooler, and then I'll transplant it outside. And then I'll show you how I transplant it outside. When the temperature reaches the low 80s consistently, I will also direct sow some of these seeds outside. I'm only going to put one seed per basket in the hydroponic system, because I used to put too many seeds in, guys, and you have to thin them out. And then, that's just a waste. Even though it's not a lot of money, I'm only going to use one seed at a time going forward. The seeds are in the hydroponic system, and I'll bring you back after they germinate and show you the results.
My grandmother wanted me to show you these 3 plants that she was hiding behind the trellis.
Where was I hiding them?
Behind the trellis, right here.
And why did I have them behind the trellis?
Yeah, it was too hot in the summer.
Can you talk to the camera?
It was too hot in the summer, so they would burn up.
They were burning up, so I hid them. Move back a little bit, sweetie. I hid them all the way over here, guys. And now that it's getting ready to get cooler, we put them up on the ledge, right? And what are we going to do to that rosemary?
You're going to harvest some of the herbs from there.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's it. Thanks, Brian. These begonias were burning up before I shaded them. And I'm almost certain this is a daylily that's trying to come back up. These oxalis shamrocks, guys, I think I got about 9 seeds off of Amazon, and I was growing them inside, then I brought them out, and I'm positive this is a daylily coming back. And look how they're doing. It's just some things, you can't grow outside in the heat. And Brian, step back, sweetie. Right here is my mosquito plant. It was just a 2-inch plant when I bought it. And it smells so good. It is, I forgot the technical name for it. I'll insert it later. Let me step back and let you see how it flourished when it was shaded. And some more of the oxalis is right here, the shamrock. And then we have rosemary, okay? And some more oxalis right here. So I'm going to just pull all the dead pieces out. And I grew this about a prayer garden so I can have it down here by my feet. Brian, you want to put it right here? And then I'll be able to sit in my chair, because we moved the morning glories yesterday. Yes, try to get it straight. You're going to probably have to turn it around a little bit, son. Turn it around just a little bit. Yes. Move out the way, sweetie. And see, when I'm sitting here, the mosquitoes won't be trying to bite my feet up. Ankles. Thank you, Brian. This is the second time we harvested a lot of basil from these 2 containers. Now we're going to put them in the compost, but we will remove the onions and the society garlic. Here's a little short clip of the large amount of basil Brian and I harvested. My daughter's going to wash it and dehydrate it and preserve it for later use, because we still have fresh basil growing in the garden, and I dehydrate a lot for myself. It is currently 74 degrees. The high is only going to be 83 today. So Brian and I are going to plant my winter spinach. I've been removing dead plants and containers and putting it into that 25-gallon pot, and he's filling up this 5-gallon Home Depot bucket, and then we're going to put some good potting mix on top of it and plant our seeds. Brian, you want to wave to everybody?
Hello.
And I like how he's standing on it, because I told him to make sure it's full. I didn't tell him to stand on it. He's very smart. I told him if it's not full, he's going to have to give me 2 buckets. So he's making sure he does it right the first time. They'll be out of school all week. We're going to have a lot of activities I'll do a few things outside in the garden, but I have some fun things planned for them because their parents are going on a business trip. Okay, so that looks good, Brian. Now, you're going to take this bucket right here. See this one where I've been having my reclaimed soil and potty mix? Drag it. Oh, man. Brian played football. He's taking karate. He is real super strong. He's 12. So now he is pre-watering the container thoroughly so that the seeds won't dry out so much. And then we're going to go ahead on and plant the seeds about a ½ an inch down. And you can soak the seeds for 24 hours and they'll germinate faster. We're not in a hurry because I got a lot of greens, as you can see. I have a lot of greens. So we're just going to plant them dry. And in about 5 days, they'll germinate. And the wonderful thing about these winter spinach seeds is, one, they germinate pretty fast. And you can keep planting them all winter, even if your ground is frozen. Just make sure you don't put the seeds in something frozen solid. And when it gets a little warmer, they will germinate and they will continue to grow all winter long. Okay, so Brian, as always, I always put some soil to the side right here. You see it? Just moving it to the sides. Now, okay, Brian, when you were shoveling this soil in here, which has compost in it, did you see any bugs in it?
No.
I'm very careful about how I filtered that old and reused potting mix. Did you see any seeds?
Nope.
Okay, good. So you won't have a surprise coming up here because, you know, we look for everything. So now I'm going to take this little stick right here. Okay, you got it on video? I'm going to move it down about a ½ an inch right here. And you see it?
Yep.
And then I'll put a seed. I'm going to try not to do too many because I have a tendency to overdo. So I'm going to drop one seed in that hole. And I'll do another one about 4 or 5 inches apart. Another one here. You see what I'm doing?
Yep.
I'm going in a circle. I drop 2, so I'll pick that one up. And I really don't need that stick. I can just do it with my hand. I don't wear gloves unless it's something really nasty that I'm working with. Or like if I've seen ants or something like that in the soil. Because I like to get my hands in the dirt. When I was growing up in Gary, Indiana, we grew up in a new suburb. Or it really wasn't a suburb, but a new area in town. Construction, that's it. A new construction. My father had married my mother after he got out of the Army, and he qualified for the first GI Bill. They had a home built. My parents were pregnant with me when they moved into the house. So it was a lot of new houses in the area, and there was sand in the lots that weren't built on yet. And my sister and I used to go out in the sand and make mud pies. I know that might sound crazy to you because you all have everything. You know, you got, what you got, Brian? iPhone 15, you have
PS5s, Xbox 360.
Got a piano, TV. And you go to, we didn't have all that. We only had one TV. And it was black and white until the color came in. So we would go outside and we had a good imagination and creativity, and we played in the mud and made pies. So now you see I'm just moving this over. You see that? Just moving it over. And that's it, buddy. Then I pat it down. Do you know why I pat it down every time?
Why?
Well, when I'm doing transplants, like the pansies yesterday, I make sure I don't have any air pockets. When I'm doing seeds, I pat it down so the birds won't just sit and perch on here and just start eating all my seeds. And then I don't have to water it. I don't have to disturb it. So it's good to go. So Wednesday is going to be 71 degrees. And we're going to put worm castings on everything. And then we're going to put mulch where there isn't any mulch. Okay. All right, Brian, how much money did you work in the garden and make today?
$7.
But let me share this with you. What I taught you today will last you a lifetime. You may not know it now, but the time is going to come when you're going to grow some organic food. And so we're not going to work in the garden tomorrow. That's Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Going to take tomorrow off, and we're just going to water. Wednesday, the high is only going to be 71, but it's going to get back up in the 80s. So we're going to mulch the garden. Everywhere where we see naked soil, so we don't get a lot of weeds over the winter. Brian, I'm filming.
Sure.
Do you want everybody to see that? Can you pull that off of your bumps?
What bumps? I don't have no
Okay,
bumps.
I'm going to go real close and show them all of your pimples. Guys, I am so excited. You will not believe that this morning it was only 43 degrees. It was 98 degrees the other day, but it's going to warm up. But I'm excited because I get to do a lot with the insect control, so I'm going to share that with you. Come on, let me show you what we did.
Hello guys, we ran into a fan today and we want to introduce you to her.
And a gardener also here in Mesquite in Zone 7. My name is Lillian.
All right, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Okay.
All right.
That's
a blessing. Currently only 53 degrees in North Texas, and this is the perfect weather because it's only going to be 70 degrees today. It's the perfect weather for me to take my pure cold pressed neem oil, a little Dawn dish soap, and water, and we're going to spray for bugs. Everything that the diatomaceous earth didn't kill, we're going to do that now. All right. Okay, guys, we put worm castings all around our plants. I'm telling Bria to keep it off the leaves, but it won't burn the leaves. But we don't need the nutrition to go in the leaves. It'll be absorbed through the roots. And Brian over here, that's our cypress blend mulch. He's going to bring his box over here, and he's going to go behind me where I put the worm castings, and he's going to do the mulch. But don't put this mulch on the leaves. It cannot be on the leaves. That can cause fungus. This is bed number 1. Look at it, guys. Looks really good. My grandchildren helped me put the worm castings all around it and the mulch. And we tried to not put a lot of mulch where the seeds are coming up, the rutabaga seeds. And the shine that you see on the leaves is my neem oil spray. Okay, guys, this is bed number 2. I want to show you how nicely it is mulch. We got worm castings everywhere except where the seeds are germinating. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I put my heart in it as well as my grandbabies. They were out of school. I took 4 of them out to brunch today. We had a ball. I know that those of you that are grandparents, it is a beautiful feeling when you have some intelligent young people, and that's what they are, little people, that you can take them out somewhere and they won't embarrass you. We had a wonderful time. Well, I said that it wouldn't embarrass you, but Brian is a natural comedian. He likes to try to command the show.
What?
Anyway, you see, guys, I told you he wants to be known. Well, that's Bria over there in the back.
No, you not talking, Bria.
Anyway, they act just like their parents. What was I saying? Oh, thanks for stopping in. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I shared something that you can use. Until the next video, you know that I love you and God loves you too.